What's up there, Misfits? Welcome to Pages of Ascension. Welcome back if you've been hanging out with me here for a little bit. Thank you so much for your patience. There was a small break in the readings. Kind of had to let some of that election energy pass real quick. Yeah, anyways, getting kind of crazy there. Think I'm joking? Watch the Capricorn shadow reading. That shit was intense. Anywho, so before we even get started on anything, I do want to give a little disclaimer. So this particular reading is intended for those who are entering their shadow work process, or about to enter their shadow work process, or they're within some part of the dark night of the soul. And so those themes and energies tend to come up, and sometimes those can be very triggering or very sensitive to some people. They can be adult themed in nature. So if that's something that you are not in a place to hear, should something like that come up, I would suggest saving this reading for another time. Okay, you can find this particular reading and all readings for Pisces in the Pisces playlist on my page. Okay, so now that that's over, if you're still with me, let me give a little bit of fine print as well while we're at it. So I am an adult. I do use adult language. If that's something that you're uncomfortable with, this is a good time to exit stage left, okay? No hard feelings or anything. And as far as pronouns are concerned, go ahead and go with what you resonate as, because this is all inclusive and stuff, right? On this channel. It's all good, right? And then, of course, last but not least, if you're looking to do that personal reading thing, you can check out my website. It's somewhere on the bottom of your screen. I don't know which side from the camera angle I'm facing at the moment. But go ahead and check that out. Browse, see if there's anything that interests you. And if so, holla at your girl, all right? And I do want to also mention, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep this up, but I do have readings specifically tailored to shadow work and dark night of the soul energy. I have a specific spread that I use for that in personal readings. So if you're looking to get a more personalized version of this, you can check for the direct link to that reading down in the description box, okay? Alrighty. One moment, we can get this party started. There we go. Playing like hopscotch or something. Okay. Ooh, saucy, saucy. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Ooh, wow. Okay, Pisces. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. So first and foremost, you were being urged to exercise a little bit of patience right now. And I feel like this is primarily with yourself and your own intuition, okay? Intuition is very highly aspected within this reading, okay? Some of you might also have Sagittarius or Aries placements, so I'm getting a fire-water combination here, okay? You're not seeing the seed. I'm not sure what that means yet. Let's go ahead and look at your theme or situation at play, which is surrender. Hot damn. Okay, so that was really fast. Sorry, let me do that a little slower. Okay, so Pisces, I feel like there's some of you, hold on, let me go 4 deep. Yeah, okay. So I feel like there's some of you who are having a hard time reconciling your spiritual gifts, or the spiritual gifts that you have been given. Some of you probably feel like you've been cursed. I get it. I do. Okay. But it's not a curse. That's basically it in a nutshell, is that a lot of you are having some trouble reacquainting. Some of you, it's reacquainting yourself with your gifts. For others of you, it's really surrendering to the process of coming into those gifts. So, and I don't have any evidence to back this up yet because we haven't looked at your suggested shadow work card, but I'm thinking it might say something along the lines of getting in tune with self. Learning to find the balance. Like, some of you might be getting bombarded with energy, and you don't necessarily know the best way to kind of navigate that, how to deal with that. As I often use myself as an example, I can't necessarily turn it off, but I can turn it down. Okay. So some of you are trying to figure out that balance of how high the volume should be and how you can have control over that volume. All right. So let me show you the cards. You've got the High Priestess, which is you. That represents you, or can represent you. Temperance. And then you've got the Three of Wands. Okay, so for some of you, you've already have some gifts that have come in and you're kind of starting to get used to them. What this Three of Wands is telling me is that there are more to come. Okay, so brace yourself. All right. Yeah, and with the Empress at the bottom of the deck, like, part of the reason you don't see this seed or this egg as it's represented here in this particular deck, I feel like it's because all of those gifts haven't come in because you've been resisting them. Okay, this is starting to sound repetitive, so let's go ahead and dig into the clarifiers and see if I can get more info for you. All right. Some of you I'm picking up as well. So I'm kind of picking up three separate groups here. There's those that are getting reacquainted with their spiritual gifts, right? And then there's those who are new to the gifts that are in general entirely that are coming in. And then there are those who are seeking to expand their gifts. And the message for all three of you is the same. All three groups is the same. And that is that you need to surrender to the process and stop trying to control it, okay? Yeah. It's like, what's that saying of watching a pot of water trying to boil? Like, is it boiling yet? Is it boiling yet? No, it's not boiling yet because you're staring at it. So it's taking too long. So just learn how to work with the energies. Make sure you keep yourself grounded. If you're not sure what that is, you can go ahead and ask me in the comments. I'll be happy to respond to that. Yeah, keep yourself as grounded as you can. I'm a big fan of protection crystals, so I'm always going to say make sure you have at least one protection crystal on you at all times. All times, okay? Especially when you're this open. Okay? All times. That's going to help eliminate some of the negative gunk that you might accidentally walk through, or that people might try and send at you. Okay? I like to use a story of when I was first trying to get a handle on the whole volume thing. This one particular day, and I know story time, bear with me, it's an interesting story, okay? But I was walking through the Safeway in my hood, right? And my day was going fine. I was in a relatively good mood. And then I passed this guy, he was a worker there, and like the freaking look he had on his face, like, if looks could kill and like stab you in your temple, this was the look that this guy had on his face. And I happened to pass him in the aisle, you know, to go and get what I needed to get. It was only like a couple of things. And then I go and I get in line, and literally in that short 10-minute span of time between getting that thing, getting checked out, obviously this is happening pre-pandemic, right? Because it takes way longer than 10 minutes to check out now. But in that short period of time, I had managed to absorb his energy and was basically hulking out for half of the evening until I realized what was going on. So like, it is possible to absorb energies in the environment that are not yours. And the one thing that has helped me do that is, honestly, it's crystals. That helped me kind of navigate what energy was mine, what energy was other people's, when people are sending me shit, when I'm sending out shit and I'm not intending to. It goes all directions on this, okay? So if I'm specifically speaking to you and you're someone who is wide open, get some protection crystals. So black tourmaline works great. I also use Numite. I actually use a combination of certain protection crystals that just kind of shield my ass. You know, but don't necessarily take my word for it. Explore. Do some research. See what else is out there, okay? Story time over. See, it was totally interesting, right? Alright, so we've got community and pathway with the High Priestess. So some of you actually may be working with a mentor, or you're seeking a mentor within the spiritual community or a spiritual community to help you how to navigate this. I had to do that too, actually. So nothing wrong with doing that, okay? The only thing I would advise in looking for a mentor is to just have several conversations with them first before you allow them to take you under their wing. Not everybody is necessarily for you, okay? I've learned that the hard way a couple of different times. Not necessarily in the spiritual sense, but like just in the job sense. Thinking someone's for you and they're like, nope, as soon as they can throw you under the bus, they do. Okay, so don't let that happen to you. Literally or metaphorically, okay? But I do feel like some of you are looking in the community for a mentor. This mentor is also going to be a high priestess in their own right, okay? I'm not necessarily getting like an astrological sign that I can give you or anything like that. The one thing I can tell you is that this person can see into the ether, okay? And they can be very detached about doing that when they do it, okay? But that's about all I've got for that. You know, I gotta say, Pisces, this is actually turning out to be probably one of the best shadow readings that I've done to date, okay? And I've only got one more after y'all, so I'm liking this. I'm liking this. They've all been, well, yours in Aquarius. This has been really good today. So, Temperance. Let me stop babbling here. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me back up a second. So, the High Priestess, I feel like, either some of you, and again, this is falling into separate groups. So, you know, if you feel free, if you want to, let me know which group you're in down below. But for some of you, you're seeking out a mentor and you have been for several years. And then there's some of you here represented by this pathway card, that you've already been working with a mentor for several years, okay? Now, for that second group, for those of you that have been working with a mentor, I do feel like that mentorship is coming to an end. And it's not because you've done anything wrong or they've done anything wrong or they weren't the right mentor. It isn't that. At a certain point, the student surpasses the teacher, okay? It happens. So it just may be time for you to find a new teacher should you feel like you need one. From what I'm seeing here, though, I don't think that it's necessarily more mentoring that you need at this point. I think you just need to surrender to the process. That's kind of what's coming up here a lot. Have patience with yourself as you work through these energies, as you work through your own internal ego battle, which definitely happens when you end up wide open, okay? But in any case, I do feel like for at least one group of you, at least the group of you who've been working with a mentor for several years, 2 to 3 years, okay? I do feel like that relationship is coming to a close. I'm not seeing anything here to say that it isn't like amiable. There's no arguments or anything. It, again, like I said, at a certain point, the student surpasses the teacher, okay? And then when the student is ready, another teacher will appear. So there's that. All right. Now, you know, it's possible for some of you that in exiting, and I'm talking about the second group again, okay, in exiting this mentor-mentee relationship, that it's somehow you end up becoming disassociated with the spiritual community that you had built, okay? Like, there's an end also coming to that. Now, here's the thing about that, and I get this. I totally get this. I feel like sometimes, in order for us to grow, we have to get outside of, actually, I would say most of the time, in order for us to grow, we have to get out of our comfort zone. And sometimes we can become stagnant when we're around a group of people who constantly have confirmation, the same ideals that we have, the same viewpoint that we have. You know, when there's no, we learn from duality conscious, but we're always trying to embody unity consciousness. I hope that makes sense. But in any case, there's nothing dualistic in this community anymore. So it's almost to the point that you've learned what you can from this mentor, number one, but you've also learned what you can from the community at large that you and this mentor are kind of nestled in, okay? For those of you that are looking into a mentor, I feel like the mentor might actually end up being a family member. Now, here's the crazy thing about this. I feel like this might be a family member that has already passed. Or one option there, okay? The second option is I feel like the mentor that you're looking for is to be found in a neighborhood that you no longer live in. Whoever that's for, okay? So one of those two things. If you are someone where the mentor that you are going to be working with is someone who has already passed, or someone within the angelic realm, this is going to resonate for you because you've already kind of gotten the clues and the cues and the synchronicities that that's what was going on, okay? But hold on. Yeah, it's not giving me much more than that. Some of you, your mentor is someone who's on the other side. So that could indicate that some of you have mediumship abilities, okay? Which is a very easy thing to want to just run away from. Don't. Surrender to the process. Again, make sure you protect yourself, make sure you ground yourself, and then just surrender to what's coming, okay? And again, like I said, with this Three of Wands here, there are more gifts coming, okay? For those of you, if you weren't privy, now you are, okay? Now, moving on to this Three of Wands, I feel like the interesting thing about the, hold on, let me see if I can get a little bit more context for this. Can you tell me more about these two? Okay, so this is very interesting. So some of you who are involved with someone long-term, or it's a married partner, I feel like you're going to end up discovering how spiritually poor the person is that you're involved with. And I'm so sorry. I've also been there. That really sucks. It really sucks when you realize, wow, I really care for you, and you were just not on my level. I'm going to go that way. It's unfortunate. I make light about it, but when you've invested time in a person and you get to a certain point in your own spiritual growth and you realize you're not doing the work, which means this isn't gonna work. That's a hard truth to digest, period. Okay? But I am seeing that, and this is gonna come through in the form of a message or a gift. So it could be that you're with someone who is very materialistic. Okay, and they're materialistic because they have a poverty consciousness. All right, if I don't have everything that everyone else has, then I'm not rich enough. I'm not good enough. Okay, that type of thing. In the other sense, with the message, if it's coming through as a message, it's going to be in the way that they talk, the way that they speak. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm not capable. This isn't going to work. Blah, 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 blah. Pick it. Okay. Either way, I feel like part of the gift that you're getting from the universe is the truth in finding out that this person is spiritually poor. Okay. That really sucks. How you handle that is up to you. But Spirit is suggesting that you surrender to the process, okay? So let's go ahead and go through your other cards. So where you are on your path of ascension, is never a crowd on the leading edge. Honor those who honor you. This is going back to that community. This is going back to that partnership. If you're in either one of those situations, or even a mentor who you feel is not honoring you, not honoring the contract that the two of you have spoken into as a student, teacher, mentor, mentee, then walk away. No one's telling you you have to stay. I mean, free will is awesome. I don't leave the house without that shit. It's awesome. Back pocket, yo. Okay? But it's important that especially in this type of work with these types of gifts, if you're around people who don't honor you, you usually end up being around a bunch of energy vampires. People who don't see you. They just know that when they're around you, they feel better. So they constantly want to be around you, and then you feel drained. And then it just becomes this cycle of crap. And that can happen with a community. That can happen with a mentor. That can happen with a spouse. That can happen with family. Okay? It's not restricted to any one of those. So that's where you are on your path of ascension, is learning to honor those who honor you, learning who is for you and who's just saying they're for you. And the more you tune in, the more perceptive it gets. Okay, so your suggested shadow work for this period of time is Gilded Regret. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to pop in the book for this one. So I like to look at the moon phase and the stage of grief. Alright, so Gilded Regret represents the waning crescent. Okay, the stage is bargain. It says, I feel like living in the past. Please give me 5 more minutes to linger. The sentence is, memories are like floating underwater, safe, warm, and murky, yet they held the scent of death. The issue that I'm seeing here, and I use issue loosely, okay, Pisces, but the issue that I'm seeing here is attachment. Okay, whether you are new to this whole psychic shit, or you've all been all up in this psychic shit for a minute, okay? The issue that you seem to be having is attachment. Okay? You get used to being around certain people, you get used to doing certain things, and you're finding that you can't be around those people, you can't do those certain things anymore. Like, I know we're totally going to go over, but I'm going to share another little tiny little story with you. Tidbit, okay? It's like, when I really started investing in the spiritual growth, like doing my own ego work, my own shadow work, going through my dark night and everything, towards the end of it, I found out I cannot drink. Like, I cannot drink. I cannot handle a lick of alcohol at all. It knocks me out for a week, and it has nothing to do with age. Like, it clouds my gifts. I can't pick up my cards. Things don't come through clear. Like, yeah. But there was this attachment of, oh, well, you know, it's been a long night. I'm just gonna, you know, I'll have a bourbon cola or whatever. And that's not something that I'm able to do anymore. And I had to go through a very interesting and intricate process that I might share a little bit more in depth with the collective misfits at some point. But I had to go through this period of readjusting and letting go of these old patterns that I used to use in order to soothe myself that no longer worked. And they couldn't work because what I was doing was such on a low vibrational level compared to where I am now. It doesn't match. It's not an energetic match. So learn to surrender, learn to let go. Okay, Pisces. Now we're going to go ahead and look at the Moonology cards. I'm going to get a timing card for you, okay? So the intention for these cards is if you, after watching this video this month, whenever, you come across this video and decide to do your own shadow work, if you were to begin, or when you begin, the card that comes out, I swear I can talk. This card is intended to show you about when you might start to see some obvious positive results in your life from doing that internal work, okay? Good lordy. I was very chatty with you guys. Okay. Ooh, new moon in Libra. Bottom of the deck, full moon in Libra. So for some of you, you're looking at about a year. So some of you might actually be entering into this dark night process that I've been kind of throwing around. I do have those readings that come out on Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. If the title catches you, then there might be a message in there for you, okay? If you are going through this process. But to get both new and full moon in Libra, that tells me we're looking at least a 1-year cycle of this for you. Okay, so check the dates on that with the moon calendars and stuff, and do the little, you know, searching online and everything to figure out when those dates are, and go from there and plan accordingly. You know, mark it on your calendar. How am I feeling today compared to how I was feeling when I began this process? I promise you, you'll notice a huge difference. And one more thing before I go, because this is already almost a 30-minute video, journal. Like, I cannot stress this enough. One thing I wish I had done when I was going through my dark night was journaling. Is just so I could go back and reread kind of where my mindset was. You get to a certain point when you're on this path where you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Have I learned anything? It's like the same thing over and over and over. And then you go through and you'll look back at a journal or something that you've written down about what's going on at a certain period, and then you'll realize just the change in mindset that you've had in doing that internal work. It's so important. I wish I had started doing it from the get-go, but I started a little bit later towards the end and actually documenting everything that I was going through. Okay, so that is my suggestion for you. Document, document, document. Write everything. Even if you can only write a sentence, which is, I don't feel like writing shit today. Write that. That's enough, okay? Okay, Pisces. I feel like we've had a heart-to-heart. I really hope that this video helped you. It was certainly a pleasure doing it for you. This is definitely the best one, the best of the shadow readings that I've done yet. So I feel like y'all are well on your way if you've come across this video in that path of ascension. You just gotta learn to let go a little bit, okay? So with that, don't forget to like and share, and of course subscribe, especially if this helps you. There's more videos coming all the time, all right? And remember, your peace is your power, and I will check you later.